Hey, yo, what's up, guys? So I wanted to do a video talking about save data. I've recorded a couple before, but I never uploaded them because, like, it's just kind of like hearsay, wishy-washy. I'm not sure if this is how it is, and honestly, a lot of it's still like that. But I want to talk about it. I've mainly because, like, I've gotten a couple perfect saves today. And I'm just gonna tell you guys how I do it, and then you can just try and replicate it if you want. Obviously I'm level 43, I think. So I'm doing the Codex, what you want to call the, I forget the full name, the Zero system, right? As for the levels I'm doing, I'm up in the 60s now. I think before this one, I completed a level 60 legendary planet. It was a slog. It probably took, you know, granted, because like my units are level 50. Normally, when you're doing this stuff, you're 10 levels over the content, not 10 levels under it. So it definitely makes the difficulty up. You definitely have to think about everything you're doing the entire time you're doing it. The one that I specifically did, I could not heal at camps. So I had to be very careful with how I built my characters. I had to make sure I had enough damage to kill them before they killed me. And I had to make sure I had the sustain to not be able to rely on the camps. That was a very high save data, and it gave me the build that I built on my Calipe during that run was a perfect save. And I'll show you that build now. I've shown it in previous videos, but you may not have seen my previous videos. So this is maybe you should have been watching my videos this whole time, okay? Talking about this save data right here. As you can immediately see, there's 4 god cards in it. Everything's epiphanied. It has an ancient, a mythic. I don't know what to call it, an ancient. It has 2 blues though, and this is where I'm still kind of iffy on it, because I don't know if these affect your save data at all. Maybe these not being legendary gave me a better chance for it to be saved here, because I don't know if this lowered the threshold. I mean, I've had characters go well into the 60Ks. But the builds aren't even that good. But typically those builds, they have a lot of cards. So I think like the number over here doesn't necessarily matter. But it's entirely possible. All of my best builds, actually, like I'm just noticing this now, are just short of 50K. Is it the same way over here? So this one's 57. I don't know why this one's 57, as opposed to like this one has an ancient here. Like what's the difference in here and to why like this one is 18K higher than this one? It's got 1 less strike card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 epiphanies. This has 6 epiphanies. This has 4 epiphanies. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the epiphany amount. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. So yeah, this one retained a lot, and I follow that same method. And one thing to consider, and this is the one thing that I know for a fact in how save data works. When you remove a card from your save, there is a chance it will get put back in. And I don't know how this is determined. I don't know the weighting of it. Obviously, the lower rate, like if your save is normal as opposed to very high, there's a much higher chance that when you go to the shop and remove a card from your deck, it will get put back in your deck. However, there's one way to bypass this. If you manage to transform that basic card into another card, like Sacred Strike, which happened in this run. And the reason I did that is because I RNG'd myself at the beginning of the run. I grabbed the transform or convert 3 basic cards into 3 random neutral cards. And that's one of the ones I happened to hit, was one of the Sacred Strikes on my basic. And I think I removed the shield in itself. Typically, when you remove 2 basic cards, there's a decent chance that one's going to get put back in. That's why Maylin consistently gets pretty good save datas. I deleted a whole bunch of them that all look similar to this. These were just the best ones. Just because you only remove the shield and that's it. I rarely have an instance where it puts the shield back in while doing everything else, because you only have to use the remove one time on Maylin. That's why I have 6 epiphanies here on this save right here. If you go to another unit, I deleted all of my bad saves, so I can't really show like the bad versions. But this build here doesn't have a single basic card in it. Same thing applied here, where I converted one of the basic cards into this recycling. So I just happened to luck out both of them not getting put back in, because one of them's still here. This is one of the basic cards. I don't know if it still counts as a basic card, but I think it's either that, it still counts the basic as being in the deck, or it only puts cards that you've actually used like the remove tag on back in. That's like the only way it does it. And the only reason I know this for a fact that it puts cards you remove back in is because I've had builds where I've removed Whirlpool, or I've removed Blessing of the Waves, and it's put them back in as well, just as if removing a basic card. So it's not that it'll randomly put basic cards in your deck. A lot of people are thinking that. It's that it'll randomly just not remember that you removed a card and put it back. I've even removed neutral cards after putting a neutral card in the deck, and it was put back in the deck. So any card that you remove has a chance to be put back in, no matter what. So the best way to build your saves is to convert your basic cards into another card, because that removes it from the pool of it being put back in. I don't know if the chance increases the more you remove, the higher the chance it is for it to go back in, or if it's determined on your save data, or how high or how low it is. I'm unsure. But this is the one thing I know for a fact, and this is how I'm able to get perfect builds as of right now. And typically that involves leaving in one basic card, or having a basic card turn, like this was a very high save. So I think you can probably get away with leaving in one basic card on a very high save, and I don't think it'll put anything back in there. It's entirely possible that, I see this one had lashing in it still, but like this is a tanky build. I have another build here that only has one in here with Iron Wall, but this was a perfect save. Nothing changed from when I was actually playing it. Not a single thing, and this is how I go about doing it. I didn't do the convert deck here. I just got lucky and nothing was put back in. But in general, and this more applies to like Mika, when you're trying to build a good Mika, because when you're building a good Mika, like ideally a good save on her, you would remove all 3 of these basic cards up here, right? Because they do nothing. You want to get like 4 sources of water with draw on them, or typically that's it. You want to get a good epiphany on this, like a good god epiphany, like or 3 AP and you want like 4 copies of this thing. Or you want AP and like wave and then you want to copy it. Or this one. You don't want this, but usually you end up with this one a lot in the runs. But if you're building a good Mika, typically that's what you want, right? And then you want to copy a bunch of these, and then you want to remove all of these. Maybe remove Whirlpool if that's not something you're interested in having in the run. But it makes it really difficult to get the save, because when you remove all of those cards, it wants to throw them back into the deck. Honestly, the best way I think to build a godlike Mika is you have to either get lucky or find events that let you convert your basic cards into like rally or into like the ego card. I don't know if I have one in here. I used to. Or into gear bag. There is an event that lets you turn a basic card into a gear bag. That's like, if you see that and you're running Mika, you 100% try to make that work. This is another build right here. I had 3 of these. And I removed this, it put it back in. I removed this, it put it back in. I think I had 3 of these and then the gear bag. And then, yeah, I had the resolve. This was an insane Mika, but like the save was so high on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it put this back in even though I deleted it. So I don't know how that works, because this would be the 6th epiphany in here, right? I'm not sure why it put this back in that case. I just think no matter what you remove, it always has a chance to just go back in. So you could even play the system where you remove a good card, and I've tried that as well. Actually, I think on that Felipe build, I actually tried that. So what I did is I had a, I don't remember that card, the name of it. It was Epiphany. It's the defense scaling 1 attack card with crystallization on it. I had that in here, and I removed it. That was a basic card that got turned into it, so it still hit the same rule to where I had 1 basic in here. And I think that just kind of goes in line. And the only way I'm gonna be able to, like, this is something that you can't exactly test, because your build has to be able to complete the run. You can't just go in and remove all the basics and then just go through the run and see if it puts all, like, one of them back in. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. This was just kind of like a, hey, take this information. If you can incorporate it into your runs to generate better builds that let you shit on the other content outside of chaos and let you like actually push through chaos, then this is just how I go about doing it. And it works pretty consistently. The highest value, it's hella RNG, but the highest value entry you can get going in is if you get that convert 3 random cards and you hit 3 good cards right at the start. Because then that's 3 cards that you don't have to remove from anybody. You can RNG 2 good cards on 1 character, and that's 2 basic cards that are gone. I even think you could probably hit all 3 cards if you get really lucky, and then you don't have to remove anything. There's a world out there where your Mika could go in and hit 3 rallies on that card. I mean, there's probably like, you probably win the lottery before doing that, but just saying that could possibly happen. And you could literally have a God Mika, because you wouldn't have to remove any cards, and they wouldn't get put back in. And actually, you could take it even further. The chances of a card going back in when you remove 1, like, it almost never goes back in, as far as I can tell. If you only remove 1, then you can remove Whirlpool from that build, and then you can jack up a whole bunch of those sources of water and get a bunch of draw on them if you're lucky, or a bunch of AP, and then you have like a crazy battery for like cards and AP in your deck to use, and that's what Mika can be. But yeah, this was just kind of like a discussion on save data. If anyone else knows anything, just drop it in the comments. This is just what I figured out so far in playing. I know that there's people out there that are playing more than me, so I haven't seen anything on save data other than, you know, the generic videos of stuff that like people probably already know. But the biggest info drop I can drop here is that like it's always gonna have a chance to put a basic, like not a removed card back into your deck, no matter what kind of card it is, and it heavily favors doing that. That's what Bricks builds, because you want to get rid of those shitty cards, right? So ideally, the best way to do it is to find a build where one basic card works, so you don't have to remove all 3 of them on a character. And if you can, try to convert one of them and leave one, or try to convert 2 and leave none. You know, that's ideally how you do it. Like in a perfect world, on like on a crazy Calipe, right? Like I go in, the little god comes up in the codex. Hey, turn 1 card into Iron Wall. Oh, okay, cool. So I just get rid of my shield immediately going in. I've had that happen 1 round. And then when you go in and you get your 3 options based on, you know, what you're going in, you'd be like, oh, do you want like, you know, more credits or whatever? It gives you that option again, and then you could hit another card. And even if you just hit like that card that does defense damage and crystallization, then like that's better in your deck than having like the 1 slash that does nothing, right? And then just for sake of example, you can remove the upward slash and you won't really have a chance of getting a card put back in your deck from that point. And then you can build whatever you want in there, and there's a good chance that like it won't fuck you over, because you're not screwing with the save data by removing stuff. That you remove that as one of the variables, and then it lets you keep everything else. For the most part. Sometimes it'll still nerf you. A lot of this is speculation, but it's speculation based on what I've earned, what I've gotten, not just, you know, blind speculation. Like I've actually like played through it, done it this way, and produced results like this build right in front of you right now. So that's it. See you down in the comments. Be sure to like the video, hit subscribe. Peace.